everything's situated. Apparently, you guys have switched building inspectors, and it's been switching back and forth between the new people, which is I forget the name of the company, McMillan, and the old building inspector. What's happened so far, I've got 4 different stop work permits put on my property. First one's because they said they didn't have a building permit. 2 days later, they came back and said, okay, you have a building permit, but you don't have the right building permit. So I showed you both of them, so there's another one. So they took the second stop work order away. A couple of weeks later, I get another stop work order permit put up because I'm moving dirt. Well, and that's all encompassed from what I'm understood in the building permit for the demolition permit, which is what Harold had told me when we talked, and I called him and he said yes. So I got another stop work permit put up on my house. Finally, they said, okay, well, he's no longer involved in this, we're the ones that are doing the inspections, now you have to use us. Okay, fine, you have to file another permit to move the dirt. So the first 2 permits I had for moving dirt were no longer acceptable, so I filed a 3rd permit to move the same dirt. Get that filed. In the meantime, I get a call back from the new company, said, okay, Harold has been paid to do the inspections on this property, you have to go back and use him to finish it, because he's already been paid to do the inspections. Call Harold back up, says, okay, yes, I'm doing the inspections. Came in, did everything from the footers all the way through, from my drywall, my insulation, my rough framing, heating, airflow test, all that stuff. He's done all the inspections on this. Then I get another stop work order put back on my property that says I didn't file or didn't have the engineer report to move the dirt. I said, well, what I was told, since I was going back to the original building inspector, he was taking care of this, he tells me I don't need one. He sent a paper, I guess, of the ordinance to you folks. It says I don't need one. She said, well, you moved too much dirt. I said, no. I have pictures of it to prove we didn't move any other dirt other than the foundation of the house. I have pictures before we tore the 2 existing houses down. I can show you them right now if you'd like to see them. I have pictures of the dirt that was stockpiled there. I have pictures now. I've already have the grass planted on the property. It's back to the original one. You can still see some of the original grass growing through, some of the original bushes. Nothing was changed. There wasn't any exorbitant amount of dirt moved. The dirt for the foundation was moved out, stockpiled, and moved back. So I don't understand why this is keep going back and forth through 2 different ones, wanting to have 2 different things done. Again, I stopped working with Harold originally told me to do. I stopped doing that. Started doing what the new company told me to do. Then they said I go back. Supposed to go back to Harold, and he's doing the inspection since he's paid for it. Go back to him, he tells me, no, I don't need the other permit. So I never got bothered going with the engineers for that. Then I get a call screaming at me 2 days ago, said that I never finished this stuff up and got this stuff done for the engineer report.
Who screamed at you?
The woman that I talked to from the engineering company.
Tammy, is that you?
That would be me.
Yes.
You screamed?
And originally, and then I ended up hanging up on
He
it.
was screaming at me and then he hung up on me.
No,
so-
ma'am, I did not raise my voice.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir. I'm just.
Okay, so we get through all that, and then I was told that I needed to send the reports from the septic system that was put in. I said, well, that's the borough and everybody that's inspected, don't they just send them to you? I don't have a copy of it, they don't give you a hard copy of it, so I can't even give you something for that. So, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. They literally come in, signed off on it, said I was good, hired a company to do it, they said I was good, but I don't get a hard copy of a permit or an inspection, so I can't give it to anybody, something I don't possess.
Okay, Tammy, okay.
I also have a photography map of all this, so you can see the elevations and stuff were shot on this before I started, while the 2 existing houses were there, and what it is now. None of those elevations have changed. So it's very easy to prove what I'm saying is 100% accurate and true.
So Washington County sewage come out and inspect this?
That's what he's saying.
It was inspected, yes.
By Washington County sewage?
I don't know who, the fellow in a red Dodge pickup truck, always I can tell you for sure.
That's the authority.
Okay, then that's,
Then they would have it.
yeah, well, that's what I said. They don't give me a physical copy of it.
Yeah, they should have it then.
Correct.
TJ, Tammy, I mean, I've been busy with some other projects.
So,
Yeah. From my understanding, this has been going on for a little while.
7 months now.
Our office reviewed the grading permit application when it was submitted, which is normal procedure. Our office reviews it. We make a recommendation to the zoning officer to issue the permit. I've driven by the site a couple times. I haven't gone up your driveway or walked up there, but it looks to me like the entire site was disturbed. I just drove by again today. The entire site, the entire site was disturbed. So
Well, we planted grass, yes.
based on my interpretation of Union Township's grading ordinance, Mr. Plungeon's right. You don't have to get a grading permit if your excavation is limited only to what's required for below ground excavations for a foundation. Now, what was reported to us by the road crew was that considerably more earthwork had gone on that site and that the vast majority of the site was disturbed. And when I drove by it again today, it looked like there was considerably more earth disturbance than just what would have been required to excavate for the foundation. So because of that, we went through the grading permit review process. We requested that Mr. Plungeon submit a grading permit, which he did. We reviewed it. We issued some comments back to him and
Correct.
his professionals to work through. We never received a response to that. We discussed it again a couple weeks ago, and we still had not received a response, which is, in short summary, what prompted the latest posting in
That is
Tammy's phone
also
call
correct.
to Mr. Plungeon. So that's my understanding of the situation.
You're saying you submit to his professionals?
We returned a comment letter to Mr. Plungeon, yes.
You said, I thought you said professionals.
They said plunging.
No, he said but I'm the only one on site, so
Yeah,
there is
I'm
no.
not, yeah, I
Have
don't have
you
that
ever-
letter in front of me, so I don't know if it's got sent directly to him or to his architect or surveyor or whoever he's working with, but he received a copy in early June.
I
You
did.
said to him.
I did get that copy, yes, sir.
Did you respond to that?
I did. We filed for the new permit. But then I was told we're going back to the original building inspector. Then Harold told me I don't need that permit, so I never went any further with it. But I did file for the permit.
You got no
I do have it.
from the comment letter?
We never got a response to our.
That is correct. That is absolutely true and correct,
But
yes.
Harold doesn't work, he shouldn't, he doesn't work for the township.
Well, but they're telling me since he was paid for this, that he's responsible for doing the rest of the inspection. Here's the problem.
For the building,
Not for grade, but not for grade.
correct. It's the
Okay.
building.
My problem again is, they've never seen the original site. They keep telling me all this earth has been disturbed. If you look at the pictures, I can prove that it doesn't. I have a photography map with elevation shot on it.
Okay, so this was handed to me, what's this, is this your site?
I have no idea what that is.
That's a satellite view of your site.
What was it,
Is
Tim,
that
is it,
kind of what it looks like?
it still up that way, or?
That, when I drove by today, there was, reseeding and erosion control blanket down on the entire site, all the way out to the roadway.
Grass has been
Near his
planted.
driveway there, yeah, so
Has
in
it-
my estimation, the vast
Whenever
majority
the
of that site's
original
been
grading
disturbed.
permit was requested.
I said, it says 2, 3, 4, so I'm assuming that's what it is, yes, but I don't know that for
So it
sure.
looks like
I can
I
show
mean, I
you
can
the
see why
original
you
pictures, you can see
say
that
that.
none of this has been disturbed. Here's the original grade. This is what the original house is on, we got a demolition permit to tear down. Going the wrong way,
the grandkids.
sorry. Probably don't wanna see that. So here's what it looks like. This is the original grade. You can still see the existing shrubs, grass, everything in through there. The stuff you're talking about, he's talking about now has been deserved. We brought in a couple of trials full of just topsoil so we can plant grass. So if you consider that disturbed, maybe that's it. That's just disturbing to me, because just seeding it is not the same. You can see again, original grade. This is what he's talking about now, the erosion blankets, and it's been hydroseeded. If you look in the background, you can see the original grass and bushes showing through. There's no difference in the elevations other than where the two houses were torn down. And we have a demolition permit and permit for moving all that dirt. Where the house was built, we have a permit to move all the dirt from that house. That is the only dirt on this site that has ever been moved, other than the topsoil that we brought in just recently to hydroseed it. So,
So what, so, okay.
that's where the problem is.
I mean, the simplest resolution to the situation would be to have a response submitted so we can issue a grading permit, frankly. We haven't been able to issue a grading permit because none of our comments were responded to.
What type of comments were there, Carl?
You wanted an engineer to tell you how you were going to move the dirt. I've called engineering firms, they said the dirt's already been moved. They can't see into the past and give me anything like that, so now that's impossible for me to do. All they can say is how it should be done, not how it was done.
So he sent him a letter, if I'm hearing correctly, TJ sent a comment letter back in June,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And then you just didn't receive a response.
No, there's nothing formal back to our office. so
And
we-
Harold, and you say Harold told you not to respond?
He also sent you paperwork, I guess, showing that out of your building codes that it says that I don't need one.
This week, he sent over an exemption thing, but it was this week.
Right, but he
It
told
was
me that
after
one.
it was after the cease and desist. He
Correct.
was saying that the exemption about just doing the foundation work or something, like doing the earthwork for a foundation.
Unless there's more than what they're saying, all this was disturbed, but all this was not disturbed. The one entire lot, nothing was, the original grass, I showed you pictures, the original grass is still growing on it. The original telephone poles are there from where the two, telephone poles were coming in with the electric lines and stuff. Nothing has been disturbed.
You shake your head.
I just don't agree with that. If you look at the satellite that shows there's no grass on the project.
That's where all the dirt was piled from the foundation, that's why there's no grass on that part of it. Can I show you the picture so you can see from the original site?
Well, here's, it's not, I'm not trying to think, but maybe you have issue, maybe you guys should have a discussion.
If I recall, some of this started with a clogged storm drain box culvert on Patterson Road from mud coming off of this property back in the rainy time of May or something. If I recall, that's what started a couple of times of the road crew having to go pull the grate.
The road crew have been at my house, that is true.
And that's what made zoning and code go look at the property because of the road crew saying there's no erosion control, there's no, and mud's coming down. I think they took some pictures of mud coming down
Yes.
the road or something, which prompted you to,
Post it and send a letter.
Good. Here's the original pictures before we started doing anything. You can see all this, all exactly the same as it is now. Nothing other than topsoil. The dirt was moved from the foundation out, stockpiled here, whoops, and then put back to where it was. These are where the two houses were before they were even torn down. You can still see the same grade is exactly where it is now as where it was then. There was a trailer here and another house here. This is where the house is now sitting too, so I'm back on the same footprint. My blueprints show all that, my photography map shows all this, my photography map shows the grades and everything before we started, and you can do it again now, it's exactly the same as, other than we put 2 inches of topsoil on, which is what you're saying is all disturbed. That doesn't make it disturbed dirt, we didn't dig it up. All we did was stockpile the dirt from the foundation on that, when it was done, we used that to backfill the exact same footprint as what it was before.
I'm here.
Did you, I mean, this is what the whole problem has been since the beginning.
I think we have two possible resolutions today.
Go ahead.
Number one, Mr. Plungen submits what he says is his pre-construction contour map and his post-construction contour map to show that he hasn't changed the grade. That's option number one. Or option number two, he submits a response to our original comment letter so that we can issue him a grading permit and everybody can move forward.
So he has to pay a fee also for that, doesn't he?
That's already been paid.
He already paid.
Right.
Okay,
I
so-
did that when I was told I had to.
Okay, well, I.
No, I'm not trying to be, you know.
No, I understand. All right, so he does that. So what's the issue with Tammy? I don't think Tammy could, I don't think Tammy could scream at you. I don't know why not, but what issues do you have with it?
Our only issue is the fact that he needs a grading permit. The building permit was issued by Harold, that is true. He paid the township through Harold for Harold to finish the building inspections. When he had sent the letter in May, he was to stop everything, construction on the house or his cabin, because of the grading problem. Then the township agreed to allow him to continue the building, Harold to do the inspection, so we didn't stop construction on the house, but he needed to comply with the grading ordinance. That's when Mr. Plungen submitted the plans and the grading application to the township. PJ reviewed it June 10th, June 11th, The letter went back to Mr. Plungen based on that review from what he had submitted, and we hadn't heard anything since then.
Well, the problem I have with that is when you said that Harold was then back on doing the inspections, I called Harold, he says, no, you don't need anything for that, so I didn't do anything further than paying for a permit.
Absolutely.
Because I can't do what two different people are telling me to do two different things
I understand.
when you have only one resolution for it. I can't do it two different ways it's impossible.
Yeah, I get
You put me in a no-win situation.
Although, Harold was authorized to do your building inspection, he in no way was authorized by the township to do the code enforcement part, which would be the determining what permits you needed, or determining, like, he could do your electrical inspection, he could do your foundation inspection, but as far as following the codes, he had no authority at that point for almost
Correct.
half a year.
Well, but nobody tells me this, and when I'm told he's been paid, I'm supposed to use him, I can't say, no, I'm not using you, because the borough told me I have to
Well,
use
you
you.
could
That-
use,
I can't do that.
You paid Harold for your electrical inspection, your foundation inspection, your plumbing inspection, but
For the grading, all that stuff I paid Harold for the demolition permit, the grading permit, Harold has been
you
paid
paid
for all
Harold
that.
for grading permit?
It's encompassed in with the demolition permit.
And that's what he told him.
This is what I've been saying for all this time.
Yeah, it's not.
No,
that's
it's-
What he
No,
just said is the problem.
Okay, but here's the problem I have with that, sir. When you tell me this is the body from the government that I have to use to get my house built, you can't sit there and tell me, don't listen to him when he's the one that's doing my
I'm
inspections.
saying this point forward.
Well, but he's the one still doing my inspections, even
He's
according to
doing your
them.
building inspection, your
Only thing is-
electrical, your
only
plumbing,
thing-
your foundation, your roof, your
Outside the
whatever.
building inspection, it's the only dynamics.
Fair enough, but
He's
not
very-
knowing that now I'm here at the end of it. Nobody said he's only here to do these inspections.
So we have a.
Well, he's certified by the state to do building inspection, but he's
But
not
again,
authorized or an employee of this township.
But I
to
don't
do
know
any
this.
kind of
I'm told I
determining
paid for the permits, this is who's doing them, so I let him do them like I was
So,
supposed to
so
do.
we have him resolved.
He's,
Kinda.
in my mind, he's two options.
Right.
Submit both the plans which show the pre and the post and no change in the grading, which is substantiating what he's explaining.
Well, then I have to have another photography map done,
That's
which is
all.
another survey, which is another $4,000.
Should I please finish? Thank you. Option number, that's option number one. Option number two, he submits a formal response to our letter so that we can go through the exercise of issuing him a grading permit.
I'm happy to do that. That's not what I was told.
Those are the two options as I see it right now, unless
Okay.
Tammy has more options.
So you have his email address or anything?
I don't do emails, sorry.
No.
I don't know how to do that.
So send him a
Worse
letter or
than
something
Ken.
saying what's going on.
Tell me exactly what you need, I'll be happy to provide that.
Sure, do we have-
I have no problems on earth with that, that's
Tammy,
not
you
what I
have
was
his
told.
you guys have his address?
Yes.
So send it by certified mail. Okay?
Even regular mail, same as when I got the thing for the permit, the very next day I filed for the permit. I'm trying to do this
Yeah, right.
exactly the way it's supposed to be done, but again, I can't do it two separate ways for the same thing. That's impossible.
Okay, relationship, maybe, yeah.
So if you send me a letter on exactly what you need me to write down on that letter, I will have it as soon as humanly possible back to you.
If it's,
Fair enough?
if it's okay with Diana, you can send it to Diana, she can call him to pick it up here in person. If it's okay with Diana, that.
I'm fine with that.
Then we kinda have, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, as long as I don't have, I mean, I can't stop working on it, and that's why I told you guys, look, I'm gonna go with my stop work order and I'm going to work on my house. It's gonna be winter time. I can't stop again for something that's not supposed to be. Again, I can't do it two separate ways through two different bodies of people that are telling me to do it two different things. It's just not, it's not possible.
And now you know, Harold has no authority in the township to determine any new permits that you may
Which will-
need. He has a right to inspect your electric.
Which would be awesome, and if I'd have known that ahead of time, we wouldn't be in this
He
position.
did know that.
Well, but
But Tammy.
you understand, I don't.
Yeah, and.
And I'm being
Secretary
told this
should
is
have
the
known.
person that I have to listen to for my inspections, so I call him.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, so you'll
Diana-
send me a letter, tell me
Diana
exactly what
should
you
have
need me to
known
write down on
I
the
knew.
letter, I don't have another photography map or anything.
You've got those two options and you can choose
I think
either
those
one.
pictures should suffice from, you agree that what I'm saying, it hasn't been touched.
I I wanna, if you're gonna go that route, I wanna see the two drawings, pre and post, that show that you didn't change the grade. Or your other option is respond to the comments in the grading.
I'll be happy to respond to your comments, yeah.
That choice.
Yeah, another $4,000 for another photography map at this point, I think is completely out of reach, yeah, it's out of reach.
Either, it's at his
I'll
discretion.
respond to your comments and that will resolve the problem, is that correct?
Yes, sir, yes.
Everybody good with that? I'll get out of your hair.
He gave you the process, so you
Yes, sir.
said that to you in writing.
And I will send
So
it
you
back
have-
in the writing and that
So
should,
basically, you have to comply, I mean, if he says you have to respond, he's gonna look at it and say, he'll communicate with you back and forth,
I'm fine with that.
okay? You
Yeah,
have,
like I
you
said,
have a
I-
card to give him?
Yeah.
Give him a card, if you don't mind, TJ.
Surely.
Yeah, my problem was that with engineers and stuff, they can't tell me because the ground's already done. They can't tell me what was done. So that's now impossible for me to do.
Well, once I get the
Good
letter, I'll
night,
send
sir.
you a call,
Take care.
and then you can come get it and we'll talk about it.
I will, I'm 30 seconds away. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Have a great night.